It's 9 a.m., time for the only garden talk radio show in Milwaukee. Tell your friends, the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener is on the air. Join us and let's grow together.
Coming up on the program today, it's what and how to feed your plants to get them to continue to produce all summer long, as well as the world of micro-farming. Our good friend Stan DeFreitas, he is known as Mr. Greenthumb, will be with us, as well as your garden questions and our garden answers. Garden Talk Radio's on the air, the only place you can find it in Milwaukee, and it all starts right now.
Welcome to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show with your hosts, Joey and Holly Baird, some of the realest gardeners that you'll ever know, always willing to share their knowledge, mistakes, and working to grow together. Founders of the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com that contains over 1,100 garden videos to show and teach others to grow some of what they eat. Join them for the next hour as they cover practical gardening information that has worked for them and more. Now here they are.
It is the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show on 860 AM WNOV and W293CX 106.5 live in the city of Milwaukee. I am your host, Joy Barrett. Beside me is my wife, co-host, best friend, and gardening partner,
Holly Baird.
The WisconsinVegetableGardener.com is your destination, now containing over 1,200 garden videos, short and long format, replays of this program, in-studio video, and a whole lot more. You can certainly contact us in a variety of different ways. One, you can simply tweet us at hashtag TWVG. Our Twitter handle is TWVGShow. You can email us at twvgshow@gmail.com. Many people do that. As well as you can call in on the IV Organics 3-in-1 Plant Guard hotline.
IV Organics 3-in-1 Plant Guard naturally protects plants against damaging sunburn, insects, and rodents, protects newly installed plants and trees, shield pruned and damaged surfaces for use on your roses, fruit and nut trees, ornamental trees, and shrubs. This product is non-toxic, environmentally safe, and organic. For more information, visit ivorganics.com. And again, you can reach us at 414-444-5250 anytime during the show with your questions, comments, concerns, what have you.
So we're going to talk about feeding your plants. This is something that many people may not do or may not think they are needing to do because at the time of planting they've put the recommended fertilizer in the hole at the and then put the plant on top of it and walked away. Well, there are necessities or are needs for the plant that may come up throughout the growing season. We don't necessarily go to each plant throughout the growing season and put a liquid or granular fertilizer around it because, one, we have and are continually building the soil with the mulch that we've put on. We've put a ton of leaves on the garden, and it continues to break down, and the microbes break it down, the worms break it down, take it to the beneath the soil to feed the roots of the plants. So it's not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to put a teaspoon of this next to each plant through the growing season every so many days. Now,
right.
in the inorganic world, in the synthetic fertilizers, there are requirements in which you have to apply it every 7 to 14 days.
Right, because the reason why is because your plants then become dependent on that. It's kind of like us humans with caffeine. If you don't, a lot of us who like caffeine, coffee, what have you, if we don't have that caffeine every day, we get headaches. Withdrawals might get irritable. Who knows what could happen. But so with the plants, that's similar. Not saying you should quit drinking coffee because I know I love the coffee, but with the plants, it's something similar where if you're not feeding it that synthetic feed, whatever it is, it's not going to do well. So it becomes dependent on that. We grow organically, and we feed our soil, essentially, is what we do. And that way the plant learns how to take up what it needs and kind of be on its own. And
that's what a lot of these fertilizers and applications in which we're going to mention here, you're feeding the soil or you're increasing the fertility, the microbial life in the soil, which essentially breaks down to a level in which the plant can uptake to develop and grow correctly and do its thing.
Right. So one thing I want to talk about, and actually I just learned about this, is it's liquid. It's a liquid fertilizer. It's also known as weed tea. So basically what you're doing is you're taking your weeds from your garden, and instead of putting them in compost or putting them on the side of the road, whatever you do with them, you make a liquid fertilizer out of them. And that's kind of cool.
Now,
because
how do we do this here? What's the application
1 second
here?
So what I like about this is that instead of just putting, directly getting rid of them, you're giving them a extra use. And so what you do is you just take like a big garbage can, whatever you have. You could do like a couple 5-gallon buckets. You put the weeds in there, and then you add water, and then you let it steep for however long until it turns like a bright green color.
It doesn't smell good.
No.
But it's full of nutrients.
Right. So it's full of all sorts of stuff, including nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, boron, copper, magnesium, sulfur, iron, and silicon. I don't know what silicon is, but I should probably look into that. And what it does is that weeds have very deep roots, especially things like dandelions, thistles. They have that long, deep root.
Yeah, they can go 18, 20, 25 inches down.
Right, so they're bringing up nutrients to feed their weedy selves, and that is good for your plants because it has all those nutrients and it has a ton of nitrogen.
Right, and we talk about fertilizers being nitrogen, potassium, phosphate, potassium, NPK. The three numbers on the front of your bag. There's 90 to 110 micronutrients and subnutrients that your plants actually need that a lot of people don't realize, and that is what some of these that you just read off are: the copper, the all of those, the boron, that type of thing. Those are micronutrients that help balance the internal portions. It's just like the vitamins for humans. We have to have all of these smaller portions or in order to be healthy. And the same thing with the plants here.
And when you're done, after you use that liquid, you can take whatever is left and put it in your compost or whatever you do with
So are we applying this to the soil, on the leaves? How do we do this?
You can apply it to the soil or you can apply it to the leaves.
And is there I got to do this every so many days or?
No, not necessarily. It's just a good boost for your plants.
Okay, so
it's good for your soil.
And I would maybe recommend doing since it has this very strong odor. Okay, you might want to do this at the time, like, okay, it's going to rain this afternoon. I'm going to apply it now, so it works itself in the soil, kind of clean. The rain pushes it in the soil more to kind of knock the smell.
Do that. They also say that you should do it at night, like when we get that night dew.
Okay,
that way it'll kind of seal it in too.
So that is one way in which you can do it for absolutely no cost at all. You just need a container that holds liquid water, and you put the weeds in there and let them steep. Now, can we stir this up, or we just kind of let it?
You can stir it. You can let it go. Whatever.
You want to do it kind of far away from the house, I would say.
Yeah. It would definitely, maybe your neighbors have some house guests that are annoying, or maybe you have some house guests that are annoying. Do it around that time.
So that's a free way. Now, there are products in which you can purchase that actually will feed the soil, like we talked about. You can also put it on the plants. We're going to have a discussion here in a couple of weeks about foliar feed, actually feeding the plant through the leaves of the plant, and we'll cover very detailed on that. But there are some products, sponsors of the program here, that we've used that are phenomenal, that are organic, and one is Manure Tea.
Right. So, and you can find Manure Tea at manuretea.com. If you're not familiar with this product, she's been in Better Homes and Gardens, the Rose people, the big group of Rose people,
Rosarians. She's had several world-class roses grown with her product. She's
won awards. So this is not some product that's just started. It's a very well-known product. You can get it from manuretea.com. And what it is Annie Haven, who's the owner of the company. She has these cows. They're beef cows, right?
Well, they're beef cattle, but they're
like the happiest cows.
They're organically grown. There's no pesticides, no vitamins
they're
or
not giving any hormones.
Hormone shots. Completely natural.
Completely natural. So she takes their manure, and then she dries it out or whatever she does. I don't know the process, but anyway, then she puts it in these little tea bags, which are organic cotton, and you can make manure tea. And
not just one application. You can continue to use it. You steep 1 to 3 gallons for 1 to 5 gallons for 1 to 3 days, and you can use it until the tea each steep is lesser in color, but the nutrient value is still there. And now
you're probably thinking, what does manure tea smell like? It doesn't really have a smell.
No, it's very neutral in the smell because there's no pesticides or herbicides or vitamins that these cows are being given.
So that's really great for your plants.
Now, what does it do?
So it feeds the soil. It helps your plants.
It strengthens the immune system of the plant.
Immune system of the plant. And
it strengthens the immune system, which means that if your plant goes to a duration of time where it's not getting watered, the cell walls and the plant internally is healthier and able to sustain itself longer without water than with a plant that has not been treated, uptake with the manure tea because of the natural properties in which it has. So that's one thing. We've done it. It saved our tomatoes and peppers this year.
Yeah.
Changed the pH level. We had very bad compost. You can find the I'm Sorry video on our website and our YouTube channel where we got a hold of some bad compost, and the pH was very high. It was very whacked out, didn't have the right balance in it. We used the Moo tea, and it turned our peppers and tomatoes from yellow-brown to bright green. We planted all those, so we were able to actually save our crop because of the manure tea. Now, another product in which you can purchase is compost tea bags. Now, this is different than the manure tea. This is compost tea that is put in tea bags like you would steep in your kitchen with the compost in it.
Right. So what it has is the compost in the tea bag, and this is from Purple Cow Organics. And it's the same concept kind of as manure tea. It's just a different thing. It adds nutrients to your soil. It's a nice plant boost. I don't know if it'll help with the pH if you're having soil issues, but I know it will.
Compost will, so this will do that as well.
So it's going to. Both of these are easy to use and easy to brew, and they're less expensive than synthetic fertilizer, and it won't make your plants dependent on something. It's an aid.
And the additional thing, it won't destroy the microbial life in your soil that the synthetics are typically known to do.
Right.
In your garden, because we want to continue to increase the health of our soil so the soil continues to feed the plants, and we're just supplementing some additional organic nutrients into that because these plants suck the juice out or suck the nutrients out of the garden, and we have to put new compost in, new mulch, new that type of thing to continue to feed the soil so that it feeds the plants. So hopefully that gives you some idea in which and what you can do. Now, each plant requires a certain different amount. Tomatoes are different than potatoes. They're different than green beans, that type of thing. So it's not a one-fit-all type of thing, but I wanted to make people aware that you do need to, at times, feed your plants. Another thing is magnesium sulfate, Epsom salt. If the plants are looking a little yellowish and it's not because of too much water, 2 tablespoons of Epsom salt per 1 gallon of water. This is what nurseries do to green up the plants. You can certainly do that with your plants in the garden, containers, and raised beds as well. When we come back, we're going to go into the world of micro-farming. Some of you may have heard this term. We'll go over what it is and what it really means for all of us right after this.
Use Twitter to reach Joey and Holly at TWVG Show or hashtag TWVG.
I know you're looking for an alternative to harsh chemicals, but you want professional strength products. BioSafe's garden line gives you just that. Professionally used for 20 years, available to homeowners. Organic solutions that are effective. They offer an array of eco-friendly products from plant food, fertilizer to one-of-a-kind herbicides, organic weed killer. BioSafe's products can be used around children, pets, wildlife, so you can enjoy your yard more. Grow stronger, healthier with BioSafe. Find us on Facebook at BioSafe Home and Garden and visit us at biosafe.net to learn more. Get 10% off your next purchase at biosafe.net by using coupon code TWVG at checkout. The number one key to healthy, productive plants are the roots. Starting from seed to full-grown plants, rootmaker.com has the answer. From seed starting trays with an innovative design that air prunes the roots, creating a fabulous root system, never again will you have root-bound plants, to multiple gallon grow bag sizes to raised beds. Rootmaker.com has your grow needs covered. Visit rootmaker.com.
Pomona's Universal Pectin is high-quality pectin that gels reliably with low amounts of any sweetener. If you're trying to reduce the amount of sugar in your diet, you'll love Pomona's Universal Pectin. Now you can make healthy homemade jams and jellies sweetened to your taste. You can use sugar, honey, or any alternative sweetener you'd like. Pomona's Universal Pectin keeps indefinitely when stored in an airtight container. Easy to use, versatile, and comes with directions and recipes in every box. Find out more and where to buy at PomonaPectin.com. Available at most natural food stores and online.
The Gardener's Hollow Leg, the debris and harvesting bag you wear, comes with its own belt attachment, perfect for doing light pruning, weeding, harvesting on the ground or on a ladder, and many other uses. Find out more at thegardenershollowleg.com. Save 10% by using the word veggies at checkout. Zaz Products, offering great quality supplements that can help personal health and increase longevity. Committed to bringing you the highest quality products at the lowest price. Find out more at zazproducts.com. The Monarch Butterfly. This garden fun fact is sponsored by ManureTea.com. Get your 3-pack today. Drop the tea bag in water, let steep, then feed your soil, not your plant. 100% organic. Find out more at ManureTea.com. Always free shipping. The Monarch will always return to rich milkweed areas to lay their eggs. The milkweed they feed on as a caterpillar is a poison toxin that is stored in their bodies. This is what makes monarch butterflies taste terrible to their predators. They've also been recorded to fly up to 11,000 feet during migration. Tall Earth Wood Treatment, all-in-one preservative and stain, offers lifetime protection and creates a unique silver-aged wood finish. All ingredients are non-toxic, eco-friendly, perfect for garden beds and veg truck. Find out more at tallearth.com. Free shipping on all orders. Use coupon code WISCONVEG to save 15% off orders placed at tallearth.com.
Mycorrhizae is a beneficial fungus from PlantSuccessOrganics.com that will greatly increase your plant's germination ability and healthier root structure. You can increase seed sprouting, root growth, and general plant germination. Mycorrhizae can be used with hydroponic root cutting, seed sprouting, cocoa coir, and soil. PlantSuccessOrganics.com carries powder, granule, and tablet form of mycorrhizae. Increase the level of mycorrhizae in your soil to give your plant the optimal opportunity to produce incredible harvests. For more information and to purchase, visit PlantSuccessOrganics.com.
Wouldn't you love to get more from your growing space? By utilizing the square foot garden method and properly spacing your plants, Seeding Square will optimize and organize your veggie garden to grow more greens and less weeds. The square foot color-coded seed spacer is a great tool for any garden, ground container, or raised bed, and all experience levels, even little green thumbs. For more information, visit SeedingSquare.com. Seeding Square is gardening made simple.
Blue Mel's Garden and Landscape Center offers an awesome selection of high-quality garden and landscape products. We have just the plants you're looking for: annuals, perennials, veggies, herbs, and more. Plus, you can always count on us to answer all of your questions and offer expert advice. Blue Mel's also carries the largest selection of bulk landscape materials in the area. Enjoy a beverage from our coffee shop while your kids run around in our huge playground. Join our growing list of highly satisfied customers. Visit the garden center that offers everything you're looking for. Visit Blue Mel's today.
Blue Mel's, 4930 West Loomis Road, 414-282-4220.
Now back to the Wisconsin Vegetable Garden Radio Show with your hosts, Joey and Hallie Baird.
Microfarming is a term that many people may not know of. They know farming, and they maybe heard microgreens, but microfarming is a combination of kind of all of those things together.
Or even like urban farming.
Urban farming is can be categorized into this microfarming. The essential definition is what of a microfarm?
So it's agriculture that's done on a smaller scale in mostly urban areas, sometimes kind of suburban areas too. And they operate in small lands of 5 acres or less. Some people operate on something as small as like 1/10 of an acre. But the big difference is that you could say, well, I have a microfarm, I have a backyard garden. But microfarmers are doing this to make money.
This is their sole income.
Right.
They are small areas, compact, intense planting to produce a lot in a short period of time, because they're selling it to people that are coming up in the yard, customers, neighbors, restaurants. They've got contracts with restaurants,
farmers markets.
So it's not like, we didn't have any
CSAs.
eggplants this year. You really, in this kind of situation, failure is not an option. You have to make this work. Otherwise, you don't get paid type of situation.
Right. So, so that's exactly it. So, the biggest thing is that it's a small land, and it's a high yield. So that means that like they want to grow a lot so that they can make money.
Because Elliot Coleman, he is a very popular name in this world of micro farming. And what is it? He does $80,000 a year in profit on a half acre or acre plot, something like that. Yeah. So it can, with the right business plan, you can produce a lot and make a lot of money. But like anything else, this is not an easy endeavor.
No,
you have to have a background of all of this information of soil life, microbial life, what plants do well. You have to have greenhouses. You have to have irrigation, because this is not just, it's going to rain next Thursday, I'll just wait. You can't afford to wait. Now, again,
and this is their job. They're not, a lot of times this is what they do.
Now, we may be familiar with Will Allen. This is not what this is not a category in which he falls in.
No, Will Allen had the last official farm in the city of Milwaukee.
So he had a farm. It wasn't a micro farm.
No, it was just a farm.
And again, this can be also, people do this for the CSA, the Community Supported Agriculture, and what that term means. People will go and buy a subscription, so many dollars a year, and each week during a certain period of time, 26 weeks a year, 30 weeks a year, you get a box.
I think it's either like every other week. It depends on what the
farmer
have set up. Yeah.
But you get a box of 4 or 5 or 6 different items that can.
It's usually by the poundage, so you get X amount of pounds of vegetables.
Now, is it set?
There's no guarantee.
No guarantee, right?
Like you're gonna get promised tomatoes, eggplants, peppers, and squash. You might just get what the farmer has.
Right.
Now you're not going to get 5 pounds of like just cucumbers or something, but it's going to be something that that you have that it's a variety.
Right, and
it's kind of like a grab bag.
And also some of these micro farms, they will do mushrooms, microgreens, which microgreens are what?
Microgreens are basically just baby greens is what they are. So it's things like smaller leaves of lettuce. One called, I think it's called Missoula. Is that how you say it? I don't know. That weird one that looks like seaweed kind of.
It's got a little spice to it.
Yeah. So even like fennel can sometimes be a microgreen.
But it's in a 10 by 20 flat that you would typically put your plant starts in. You can have several thousand plants in that one little 10 inch by 20 inch tray, and you're cutting it down. You get this on your sub sandwiches and some of these sub shops. These microgreens, they're very highly intense.
Even like alfalfa sprouts are microgreens too. So
highly intense nutrients in a very small package.
Right.
But it's beef. There's pork sometimes in these microforms based on the city ordinance. Eggs is a very popular one.
Meat rabbits.
Mm-hmm. So microfarming is something that is
goats. In Portland, the microfarms will have goats.
And then based on the city or the state ordinance, whether or not they can give raw milk away or sell in the package, because there's a whole nother show in itself.
Right, and sometimes these micro farmers they'll have their own place where they live, and then they'll buy like an abandoned lot.
Sometimes it's on the property in which they live.
Yeah, that too. But maybe they live in an apartment like downtown, and then they buy an abandoned lot and they turn that into their micro farm. So there's a lot of different options there for micro farms.
It's an investment. If done right, you can make a tremendous amount. Well, I wouldn't say a tremendous amount when you cover your overhead and all the time that because you're 24/7. It's essentially what you're doing. It's like living on a farm that you never leave, because you've got to basically baby these plants. I mean, not so much that, but bug control, insect control, rodents.
You're trying not to fail or have fails happen.
Right.
So, like, say us backyard gardeners, not that we want fails to happen, but, okay, like, say a tomato hornworm takes out your entire tomato crop. You're like, well...
We went to the farmer's market when that happened to us in 2014. We bought tomatoes.
Right. So you have that option. When it comes to micro farming, you are a farmer where it's like this is your livelihood. This is what pays your bills.
And the advantage to the micro farming, these people have they have greenhouses, or what they call greenhouses, or high tunnels, and they can grow sometimes year round. You get a lot of your cool weather crops. Your leafy greens and that type of thing, they can get a much earlier start on those, and even get earlier starts on your warm weather crops like your tomatoes, your peppers, your eggplants, so they can get a jump start and actually produce more, make more money because they're growing tomatoes in January outside in a essentially a greenhouse, and you're having tomatoes by May when it comes down to it. So micro farming, it is a interesting occupation, and you can go on your internet, do your search for micro farming, and you'll see some of the phenomenal, small, compacted, intensely planted, very organized, and there's no weeds in these places either.
It's kind of amazing.
It's crystal clean. It's like what you would see on the cover of a magazine type of thing.
It's really a science.
It's a science because, if you got weeds growing, what is the weeds doing? They're taking nutrients away from the plants in which you're intending for them to grow.
Crowding the plants.
And weeds are going to outcompete your vegetables in which you plant for three very simple reasons. One, they propagate from root cuttings, from rhizomes, and from seeds. Most of your vegetables do not propagate mostly it's just from seeds in which they produce either internally or at the end of the season when they go to flower. A few will propagate from rhizomes, but the majority is just one of the three, and the weeds can outcompete that. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk with our good friend from Florida. Mr. Greenthumb will be with us right after this.
Got a question? Email the show at twbgshow@gmail.com.
Garden seeds do not have to cost a fortune, just 99 cents at migardener.com. Now with over 450 varieties of non-GMO, heirloom, and organic flower, vegetable, and herb seeds available year-round. Pay less and get more seeds. Shipping as low as $2.50. That just makes sense. Go to migardener.com for seeds and garden needs, tools, and special blend fertilizers. migardener.com. It's that simple. Family owned and operated.
Here at Outpost Natural Foods, it's not just that we're community-owned that sets us apart. It's the fabulous foods we sell. We celebrate Earth Day every day by offering our customers the finest natural and organic food selections in Greater Milwaukee. Outpost local farmers and vendors provide our stores with a delicious selection of fresh seasonal produce that you won't want to miss. Outpost stores are located in Milwaukee, Wauwatosa, Bayview, and Mequon. We're a real Milwaukee original where anyone can shop and anyone can join. For the whole scoop about Outpost, we invite you to visit www.outpost.coop.
Do you enjoy hanging baskets but struggle to keep them properly watered? The Plant Booster Self-Watering System is a mechanical system that will ensure optimal soil moisture at all times by reacting to the weight of each plant. The weight of each plant tells the system how much water it needs, unlike a timer-controlled system where all plants get water at the same time, whether they need it or not. Also ideal for condos or apartments with no outdoor water source. Check out details, videos, and extensive explanation and ideas for application at plantbooster.net.
Shield and Seal vacuum sealers and the highest quality vacuum sealing products, unique black and clear and all black bags, protecting your produce and product better than traditional bags. Find out more at shieldandseal.com. Rebel Green, responsibly made natural products that are good for you and the environment. Made in the USA, plant-based, vegan, and always toxic-free. Find out more at rebelgreen.com. Use coupon code WIVEG15 to save 15% off your next purchase at rebelgreen.com/shop. Flame Engineering, home of the Weed Dragon, the perfect propane torch kit for home and garden use. For killing weeds, no need to pull or spray. 100 other uses. Find out more at flameengineering.com.
Woodman's is a Wisconsin-based family-owned company founded in 1919. They offer low prices in every single aisle every day. No need to carry a discount card. From produce to meat to international to natural and organic, all offered at the lowest possible prices. Over 60,000 products at every store. Service and savings every day. They're employee-owned to help you save money. They also offer online shopping for pickup and delivery, working to save you more money. Visit woodmans-food.com to find the nearest location.
It's that time to get your lawn lush and green with the Chapin spreader, the broadcast spreader that outperforms all in their class. Get consistent results year after year as if you had hired your own professional lawn service. Find Chapin spreaders online or order through your local Home Depot, Lowe's, True Value, or Do It Best hardware stores. To see the full line of Chapin lawn and garden products, go to www.chapinmfg.com. This season, arm yourself with the better spreader, Chapin.
Now back to the Wisconsin Vegetable Garden Radio Show with your hosts, Joey and Hallie Baird.
Well, it's not too late to jump over or drive over to Blue Mills Landscape and Garden Center, the official garden center of the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show. You can get your bulk material if you're looking for mulch. You need some raised beds, purple cow compost. You need any type of, they got 40 different varieties of bulk material. They still got flowers, vegetables, herbs, perennials, lawn decor.
And even if you're not looking for that, maybe you're looking to add something new to your garden, you found some extra space and you want some advice.
You can take a picture of what you want.
Right,
take a picture of the area in which you're going to
and they have
do
very
this
knowledgeable staff to help you. Or maybe you feel like you want to fertilize or do something, you have a problem, an issue, they're there to help as well.
Right. You can certainly go there, give them a call. They know what they're talking about. This is what they do. This is not just something that they have happening a couple of weeks a year. This is their livelihood, and they've been around since 1955.
And you can go visit them at bluemills.com. You can go to 4930 West Loomis Road in Greenfield, just south of Layton, or you can call 414-282-4220.
Family owned and operated. Well, Holly, let's go to the Ivy Organics 3-in-1 Plant and Garden Hotline and bring in our next guest.
So, also known as Mr. Greenthumb, Stan DeFreitas has experience as an urban horticulturist working with his local county extension service. He's taught horticultural at St. Petersburg College, and he likes to spread his gardening know-how on radio, TV, and newspaper columns. Welcome to the program.
Glad to be with you, Holly and Joe. I'm a former extension horticulturist. I spent 8 years answering about 100,000 questions, which kind of helps do what you do and I do.
Well, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to join Holly and myself and enlighten all of us and our listeners with some of your garden knowledge.
Well, we'll certainly try. I've been watching some of your segments online, and they are great. I enjoyed your one on using cardboard mulch, and I think that's a great tip for people.
Well, let's talk about nematodes. Are nematodes bad? And if they are, how does one control them? And what kind of damage does a nematode do if it's not doing anything good?
Nematodes are bad in that they are usually microscopic eelworms that infect many of our plants. Some nematodes can be as long as 30 feet long. In whales, trichinosis that gets in pigs is a nematode. So nematodes have affected man forever, and thank God we don't have any of those 30-foot-long nematodes in our soils.
That's a little...
Yeah, that sounds a little scary. Glad for that.
So we have a bunch in Florida. I don't know if you have as many as in Wisconsin, but there's sting, lance, stubby, spiral, root knot as a number of nematodes that are available.
Oh, lovely. So we use a lot of mulch, and we find it beneficial. Why do you find mulch beneficial? What mulch do you like to use, and what mulch would you say is not good for your vegetable garden?
Well, most mulches are good. I like bigger particle size, thicker pieces of mulch from trees. You know, often when they grind trees down, it's better if something is composted. Like I use black cow manure down here, but you've got your purple cow manure. If something is composted, it has more beneficial bacteria in it. And many of the good beneficial bacteria actually kill some of the nematodes.
So it's kind of a nature's balance there.
Yes. I think if you can improve that soil, that is going to be helpful in getting rid of these pests. So the more organic you can be, adding, I go out and I save, when I help my wife cut up carrots and potato peelings and things like that, I recycle them. But also coffee grounds from my coffee, almost everything I have, the solution to pollution is dilution.
There you go. People who have little garden space, they say, "Oh, I can't grow anything." We recommend them growing herbs. What tips do you have for growing herbs, and what are some herbs that you feel everybody should grow, regardless if they have a large garden or just a few pots on the windowsill?
I agree. I think herbs are wonderful, and I've really got into herbs over the last few years. I grow rosemary, I grow thyme, I grow mint, I grow basil, and I love bringing them out from outside into the kitchen. I drink tea every day now. I drink more tea than I do coffee, but I often make tea from hibiscus tea. I make mint tea, even rosemary sometimes. So many of the things we think of as just as garnishes can actually be used on your plate and can also be used in your teacup.
Well, let's dive into that a little bit. How do you prepare that? Do you just take the leaf as it's green, or do you let it dry and then you steep it in the hot water, or how do you prepare your mint tea or your hibiscus tea there?
Well, I've done it both ways. I've dried it before, and sometimes I'm the impatient gardener, and if I'm in a mood, I may take my fresh mint. I find fresh takes a little bit more than if I dry it, but you can actually use it both ways, and it's maybe a little more, may have a little more oomph to it, if you will, if it's been dried. But, I find I'm also a winemaker, so I find that almost every time I do something, it's kind of an experiment between science and art. Well, and I find herbs almost the same way.
Well, it's a little bit with the gardening world. Yeah, there's perimeters and guidelines and some rules, but kind of every time we plant something, we're learning, experimenting the whole procedure.
Sure, and that's something I really do love. I enjoy gardening, and that it frees your mind, it frees your soul, and if you can get into it, it's just, to me, it's the greatest hobby in the world.
And we found with the Amish, it's called the farm effect. Getting your hands dirty in the soil actually stimulates, Holly, you know the term there. What is it?
It's
endorphins.
Yeah, endorphins, good chemicals in your brain. It's a positive thing, just being in nature, getting your hands in the soil, all of that.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
Now, pH level is a term people will hear, but many new gardeners are not sure what that means, and people reach out to us. We like to sometimes ask if they've had a soil test. How can a pH and soil test make one a better gardener, and are soil tests necessary, or how often?
I think they're important to use. I've been doing them. I started off doing pH testing about 40 years ago, and in fact, I still use the same tester type that I used back then. I use just a color one. That's funny. As an extension horticulturist, I always went in early and did probably 30 or 40 tests a day. Today they have a meter, and today there's a charge. When I used to do it, it was for free. But I do think pH testing is important. pH is a term for the acidity or alkalinity of the soil. It's, if you want to say scientifically, it's the hydrogen ion capacity of the soil. But let's just say sweetness or sourness of the soil. If it's too acid or too alkaline, then you need to adjust it. And just like, maybe not like your pool where you have to test it every day or two, you should be testing your soil at least probably every gardening season.
Now, when you test your pH level, you said you've got the tester. How accurate do you feel that tester is, or would you recommend people sending it into the university, their local university extension office, paying a fee, which is very small, but getting great detail?
I think it's great to get the test from the extension service. I will say I'll put my my little test as a color chart. I mean, I put some reaction liquid on it, and then I have a powder that I put over it. And I think I can get a pretty accurate reading. In fact, when I go give talks at home shows and things like that, which I'm sure you guys do too, I always carry my pH tester, and I actually do free pH testing when I'm not actually giving a talk, just because I think it's that important.
So when we find out that our soil, most of our soil needs to be about 6.8, 7.2, somewhere in that range for doing normal vegetables. If we find that our soil is high or low, what are some means in which we can try to get that brought back up? And it's not just an instantaneous. It takes some time in order to break those numbers up or down to where we need them.
True. Now, you can add dolomite or hydrated lime to sweeten the soil, usually about 50 pounds per 1,000 square feet. Or you can add sulfur or soil acidifier, probably anywhere from 7 to 10 pounds per 1,000 square feet. Or 10 by 10, would give us 100 square feet. So you can adjust your soil accordingly. In Florida, we have a lot of shells, so we often have too alkaline a soil. so we have to add some acidifying agents. But I imagine in your area you might have the inverse, where you have a soil that's maybe too acid, and you have to add the lime to help sweeten it.
Right. What we hear the term, and I saw this on some of your videos. What is air layering? This is a term that's new to Holly and myself, and maybe some of our listeners as well.
Air layering, we did a podcast on AskMrGreenthumb.com, and I appreciate the plug. My son helps me, and my wife helps me, so we're sort of like you. We're a family kind of run outfit. Air layering is also called Chinese pot layering. It's been done for a couple thousand years. They didn't have aluminum or plastic wrap back then, but they had leaves and things that they could use. Basically, what we're doing is forcing the plant to put out roots. So we take the bark off that outer cambium layer down to the white wood, let's say on a croton or whatever we might use, and we can put sphagnum moss around it like a handful that's wet. We can wrap it with some plastic wrap. I usually tie it with some twistums, either top or bottom, and you can force the plant into putting roots in there in often as little as about 30 days. And the beauty of that is you've got a mature plant that you can move to somewhere else in your garden.
So it's a clone, essentially, from the parent plant.
Yes, basically you're making a cutting on the plant, but as opposed to taking, let's say, like a nurseryman might take a 2-inch cutting or 3-inch cutting, we could take something that maybe is 2 feet tall and have an instantaneous plant for our yard or garden.
So once the roots have developed, below the roots, cut it from the plant and then just transplant it to wherever you need to do it. You don't need to put it in another pot to make sure it's healthy. Just drop it right in the ground?
You could take it right to the ground, or you could move it into a gallon or 2-gallon pot if you have some good soil, and you could grow it out a bit and then move it if you wish. You know, anytime you take a smaller plant, there's a little more shock when you remove it from the mother plant. But I think it's a great thing, and of course the plant will sprout out new sprouts right from below once you take that top plant off.
Now, you could do this with fruit trees, could you not? With fruit trees is what I'm thinking, to get a very large start from an existing pear, apple, whatever the case is. That would work the same, correct?
You could do that. You could also, some of the harder to root things, I've actually sometimes sprinkled a little bit of root tone, endobutyric acid, around the cutting area too, just to help it maybe initiate roots a little bit quicker. But I've done it on hollies, which are kind of hard to sometimes start. So I've used it on many different types of plants, and to me it's a great way to get plants large in a hurry.
Well, before we let you go, up here we just started we've planted our tomatoes about the last week in May, so many of us have already got them in the ground. We talked a little bit about in the first segment how to feed your plants and what to feed your plants. What is your recommendations on keeping your tomatoes healthy all summer long? Just where you're at, you can virtually grow year-round, and we're a little jealous of that, but we do like the winter break up here.
I understand it. We do. I grow year-round. I just had a couple avocados off my tree this morning I had for breakfast. I have fruit trees. I have tomatoes. I just harvested some little tomatoes yesterday. So we can literally grow pretty much year-round. Our biggest problem here is sometimes you have to over-summer. You know, we get so hot in July and August that you can grow cherry tomatoes and you can grow collard greens and some of the other greens, but it almost gets too hot and too much fungus and things going on. So our best time here is probably a time you would never think of, but like February, a garden, a fall garden and a spring garden.
Yeah, that's So what can we do to keep our tomatoes healthy through the growing season?
Well, probably a good soil. You know, starting off with improving that soil. As I always say, make the best soil you can make, and that improves cow manure. That means adding peat. You know, when I was a kid, my dad did not have great success gardening because he was a New York City boy, and he thought you could just dig up the backyard, you know, sand, and everything was going to be perfect. And he didn't have great success, and I think he kind of spurred me into wanting to learn why he did not have success. And the biggest thing I could say is get the soil as good as you can. I'm always improving the soil. I'm always adding more peat, more cow manure. As I always say, make that $10 hole for that $10 plant, and you're going to have a $100 tree.
Absolutely. Well, Stan, we greatly appreciate you taking time to be with us. How can our listeners find out more about you and hear your podcast, see your videos, and find out more information or reach out to you if they have a question?
Well, I appreciate what you guys are doing as well. I've been watching your podcast. They can go to mine as well. I hope they will also become subscribers. As I see you've got thousands of subscribers, and I'm jealous of that. I need more subscribers. But they can go to AskMrGreenthumb.com, and we're on YouTube, got a YouTube channel as you do. And, I think the more the merrier. You guys are turning out great information. We're trying to turn out great information, and I think we're helping the world one garden at a time.
Well, Stan, thank you very much for being with us. We greatly appreciate your time and the information you've shared with all of us.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And we'll be back after this with your garden questions and our garden answers right after this.
If you have a gardening question, now is the time to call in on the ivorganics.com 3-in-1 Plant Guard hotline at 414-444-5250.
The Tree Diaper is an advanced plant hydration system. It is an innovative device that captures and holds the water around your plants once full and hydrates them slowly when the plants need it over a period of 30 days. From half to 30-gallon capacity based on your needs. And easy to install even for a first-time gardener. The Tree Diaper reduces weeds, protects plants, enhances root growth, and prevents overwatering. Whether you're growing trees, vegetables, flowers, houseplants, in containers, or the ground, your plants will benefit greatly by allowing the Tree Diaper to do the work for you. Find out more at treediaper.com. Made in the USA.
The Handy Safety Knife is a patented, high-quality knife that's worn like a ring, so it's always conveniently at hand and very easy and efficient to work with. That's why you'll find the Handy Safety Knife at work in a wide range of industries and applications. Learn more at handysafetyknife.com. Place an order for your business. Call toll-free 866-294-3424.
Use coupon code WVG to get 10% off and free shipping one-time use only at handysafetyknife.com. Eco Garden Systems is a revolutionary way to grow food. A fully contained raised platform with a conventional watering system. Solar power unit optional. Made from recycled material in the U.S., Eco Garden Systems raised garden bed offers sustainable organic gardening that is environmentally sound, quick and easy to set up, maintain, and fun to use. Fill your garden with soil and plant your seeds. Your Eco Garden will take care of the rest. Can set up in backyard, patio, and even your driveway, any level surface. For more information, visit EcoGardenSystems.com. Use coupon code WIVEG125 to save $125 and get free shipping, a $250 value on the purchase of an Eco Garden Original Garden Unit, available only in stone color. Purchases must be made through the website EcoGardenSystems.com/store. Offer valid through December 31st, 2018, available to the contiguous United States. Root Assassin, a garden tool that does all the root functions with its advanced shovel that has serrated edges on both sides. Find out more information at rootassassinshovel.com. Purple Cow Organics quickly and naturally increases the uptake of nutrients and water to your plants with their new Bioactive Vegetable Supercharger designed to meet the unique needs by helping the living organisms in the soil help plants uptake the nutrients more quickly through their roots and leaves. Find out more at purplecoworganics.com.
Beans and Barley Market and Cafe, a neighborhood specialty grocery store for the east side and greater Milwaukee area, where you can find all you need, from fresh produce to bakery to organic frozen dinners, from wine to fresh squeezed carrot juice. A health food store with hundreds of products, vitamins, supplements, bath and body items, magazines, cards, books, and a knowledgeable staff. Catering available, open daily at 8 a.m. The restaurant serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week with a menu of good, healthy, homemade food, including vegetarian and non-vegetarian specialties. 1901 East North Avenue, Milwaukee, 414-278-7878, and online at beansandbarley.com.
Do you have a problem with deer or small herbivores eating your vegetation? There is a natural solution that is safe for your pets and family. Bobex is the answer. An environmentally friendly solution to protect your plants, will not wash off, and is guaranteed. Bobex Deer was independently tested against 9 known competitors and rated 93% effective, second only to a physical barrier. Bobex can be used on all types of ornamentals, trees, and shrubs. Ask for it by name at your local independent garden center. Find out more, visit Bobex.com. BOBB HOTBEX.com.
Hoss Tools wants to help you grow your own food. From seed starting supplies, hand tools, drip irrigation, harvesting equipment, and a complete line of all-natural pest control solutions, they've got you covered. Keep your garden weed-free with their time-tested, American-made wheel hose that are built to last a lifetime. And their precision garden seeders have proven design for planting a wide variety of seeds. Hoss Tools has what you need to get the most out of your growing space, large or small. Free shipping and outstanding customer service. Shop online or request a free catalog at HossTools.com.
Blue Mel's Garden and Landscape Center offers an awesome selection of high-quality garden and landscape products. We have just the plants you're looking for: annuals, perennials, veggies, herbs, and more. Plus, you can always count on us to answer all of your questions and offer expert advice. Blue Mel's also carries the largest selection of bulk landscape materials in the area. Enjoy a beverage from our coffee shop while your kids run around in our huge playground. Join our growing list of highly satisfied customers. Visit the garden center that offers everything you're looking for. Visit Blue Mel's today.
Blue Mel's, 4930 West Loomis Road, 414-282-4220.
Now back to the Wisconsin Vegetable Garden Radio Show with your hosts, Joey and Hallie Baird.
We've got a few minutes. You can certainly call in on the IB Organics 3-in-1 Plant Guard hotline, Holly.
IB Organics 3-in-1 Plant Guard naturally protects plants against damaging sunburn, insects, and rodents, protects newly installed plants and trees, shields prune and damaged surfaces for use on your roses, fruit and nut trees, ornamental trees, and shrubs. You can visit ivorganics.com or call 414-444-5250. We had a question come in on Monday.
Yep, and you can certainly do this. You can certainly send us a question via twvgshow@gmail.com, our Facebook page, the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener, social media. Like us, go to our website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com. You'll find all of that. What was the question we had come in?
We have a row of arbor ties along our property for about 20 years, 20 in all. Some of them, about a handful of them, have turned completely brown, just sections of them. Why is this, and what can I do to help this?
First of all, these are like tall shrub trees for people who are not familiar with the term.
Yeah, they're
kind of like looking like Christmas trees of some sort.
Kind of. They're more shrubbish than like
right,
trees.
But I wanted people to have an idea of it.
It's more of like a cylinder.
Right.
Yeah. It's like in the bush variety. So there's this thing called winter burn, and winter burn affects arbor ties. So basically, it's just from something like this winter we had that was long and cold and long and cold. So what happens is that your plants are basically being droughted during the winter, and they're feeling the effects of that long and cold.
Kind of like dehydration of the plant?
Right.
Okay.
So there's a few things you can do. One is to select a sheltered location, but if you're putting them on a property line, which a lot of people do, there's not much you can do there.
Some people wrap them with like burlap.
Right, that's another thing is burlap, some sort of arbor vitae wrap. You go to your local garden center, and they're going to have that.
Don't wrap it in plastic because these things have to breathe, but they need some type of minor protection from that wind.
And then you can water it up until it starts to freeze. So if the ground's not frozen, you can water it. If it thaws, if you get that grouping of warm days in January or February, you can water it. That's going to help that. And then make sure you mulch over the root zone.
And the mulch can be dry grass clippings, shredded leaves, straw, wood chips, something like that. But again, we want to protect that. Now, these places, these trees that have the dried out areas, we don't want to trim them off, or do we trim them off?
You can trim them off.
Okay, just that type of thing.
Do it gently.
I also want to make mention that MI Gardener, one of the official seed sponsor of the program, they've opened a store up in the town over in Michigan today.
I think it's in St. Clair, Michigan.
Somewhere in that area. But today was there's a grand opening, and we wanted to congratulate them.
Yep.
That was they have 6 years of planning, 4 months of preparation or of a storefront, and now they're open to encourage and help the community grow a better garden for them in their own backyard. So go to migardener.com and send them an email and say thank you and congratulations, that type of thing.
And again, your emails are welcome at twvgshow@gmail.com. Jeff messaged us on Facebook, our Facebook page, the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener, and he asked that about peppers. We bought some bell pepper plants, pre-starts or starts, from the store. They're in our garden doing well, about 10 inches tall and flowering. Some have already flowered and are starting to produce fruit, very small buds. A professional produce grower told us to pick off the flowers
and the buds, and this would allow the plant to grow better. Is this right? I worry that they may not reflower if I pluck them off now. Well, thank you for the question, Jeff. The grower that told you this is correct. You can pull the flowers off of the plant, and that will that will cause the plant to put more energy in the plant growth production rather than fruit production. They will come back. Now, we have never exercised this practice in our garden. We simply allow the plant to flower and bloom whenever it wants to. People had once said the similar method for the first year strawberry plants. When you buy the plants or the root plants, bare root plants, you plant them. When they flowered that first year, you were supposed to pick the buds off to allow more energy to go into the root development, and that's simply not true. But you can, if you've got a lot of pepper plants here, you can experiment half with one method and leave the other half alone. They will reflower. The production of a pepper plant is solely to produce fruit, to produce seed, to carry on the traits for the next generation. That's why, as we've talked about on the program, if you continually harvest your produce, your plants will continue to produce much more heavily than they would if you just left one particular fruit or vegetable on that plant and the seeds become mature and the plant really shuts down from growing. So you can pluck them off. We don't. It will work either way. They will reflower as the plant gets to the point of needing to reflower. Brittany asked under our Facebook post of the in-studio video of Show 15 of organic bug control, I'm having some issues with black bugs on my spinach, small green worms on my kale. What do you recommend? And we do not use chemicals in our garden. Any advice would be helpful. Thank you. Well, without an image, the black bugs on your spinach is I'm going to guess it's flea beetles. The typical flea beetle is a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch long. The exception is the spinach flea beetle, which is about 1/4 of an inch long. These vary in color from black, bronze, brown, metallic gray, while some species have large back legs to enable them to hop from plant to plant. Sticky cards work very well. It's not a chemical that you're putting on the plant. It's actually a card that you put next to the plant or in amongst the plants, and it's a bright color with adhesive that they will attach themselves to and they can't get removed. There are applications of chemicals in which you can spray, but we do not recommend that. But flea beetles is what I would say those are. Cabbage worms is what you have on your kale. The easiest method of removal is pulling them off with your fingers. Now, that is not always the easiest way to find them. They do a tremendous amount of damage. Again, yellow sticky traps can work, as we talked about with the flea beetles. You can catch the adult butterflies before they lay the eggs on the plant, but at this point you've already got the cabbage worm or the worm, so that really is not that effective, but they are still flying around, so that may be something you want to look into. But they may also attract beneficial insects too, so it's not a selective means of bug removal. Spraying the plant with BT, which is a natural bacteria in nature, every 1 to 2 weeks will help control the cabbage families of pests. 7, we don't really want to use that because from application to harvest, you need 21 days, and it's actually a nerve agents that would destroy the nerve agents in these bugs, and you can ingest it too, and that's not healthy for you. So there's some ways there. Other people have said you can dampen the leaves of the plant and sprinkle whole grain cornmeal on the plants. That we've never tried that. But that could, and the caterpillars will eat this and they swell up and they die. Never tried it. It's certainly an easy means of trial and error. Most of us have cornmeal in the pantry. That will work. But your problem with that is the cabbage worms on your kale. And if you've got them on your kale, you probably do have them on your cabbages and other leafy greens like Brussels sprouts and possibly your greens as well. Programming note, join us next week when we are going to discuss weeding, how you can weed to get less weeds next time and the time after that. As well as we'll discuss the Back to Eden garden method is really as good as people say it is. Christopher and Kristen of Ferment Works will be with us. We're going to talk about fermentation and the health benefits that it has for all of us. Miss any portion of this program or want to revisit it in its entirety, you can find that under the radio tab on the main page of the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com. Want a specific interview or individual topics, you can find that underneath the highlight tab on the main page. Until next week, for Holly Baird, I'm Joy Baird, and we will see you in the garden.
You've been listening to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show. Tell a friend and join Joey and Holly again next week so we can all grow together. The Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show is a production of the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com in association with WI Garden Media Broadcast live from the WNOV 860 AM and the W293CX 106.5 FM Courier Communication Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.